This is Angela from the Fandible Solo Shot podcast, a two-person Star Wars actual play. And right now you're listening to Redemption.
This is Redemption, an actual play podcast set in the Star Wars role-playing game system, with Chris Berlew as the GM, and also the droids 11D4 and R3A1.
Good luck to you, Captain.
Andy Fox as the Botha negotiator, Quinth.
You look like three loth cats in a trench coat trying to be a person.
Kaylee Jung as the Jedi, Karel.
Let's go get your daughter.
And Michael Waldschlager II as the Duros pilot, Tazi.
I was never really into that style of music. Bantha Boys were never really my thing.
Episode 809, Hostage Negotiations. The crew arrives on the planet FLORUM with several disparate plans and promises made to extract Quinth's daughter at any cost. As our heroes cross the blasted desert landscape to the coordinates given by the 12th brother, each of them wonders if this indeed may be their final fight.
All right, cool. Shall we roll the destiny pool?
Sure.
Why not?
I got one dark side.
One light side.
One dark side.
One dark side. What'd you get, Andy?
One dark side.
Whew. Wow, that's the least we've rolled ever. So 3 dark side, 1 light side.
Didn't we once roll all dark sides and we were like, oh no,
Yep.
we lose?
Yeah, but we had like 6 of them or something like that.
Well, one of the Patreons also gave us one that time, so
Yeah.
it's like awkward.
I want to make the game harder.
All right. So we have a plan-ish, and ship A1 and droid A1, we're going to be staying on the Fang. Everybody else was going to the meet.
Yeah, the droids were going to provide cover on the ship.
Yes.
Ship A1 would fly, droid A1 would be manning the guns.
Correct. And everybody made A1 promise that if things got rough, they would get Yara out.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Well, D4 and both A1s.
Tazi made droid A1 promise. Forced a promise.
Yep.
Which remains to be seen whether or not that promise will be kept.
Yep.
We're heading towards
FLORUM.
FLORUM.
Yes. Correct. So we see the ship coming out of hyperspace over FLORUM. And you can see the desert rocky surface below. As Tazi's bringing the ship in, you can see that every so often in the landscape there's areas that are dotted with little sulfuric geysers that shoot up this big thick acid coming out of them.
It could be worse. It could be an ice planet.
All right, ship A1, I need you to take over controls. We're going to have to do a hot drop. We don't want to land and stick around it very long, so everybody get ready.
Carl walks up onto the bridge at that point, and she is wearing a very, oversized smuggler's trench coat, and it basically obscures anything she's wearing underneath, and she's carrying her electrostaff. Okay, everybody ready? Got the plan? We're good to go?
Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta go change. I'll be ready to go in a minute.
All right.
Yep.
Sure.
Yes.
Quinth looks down at what she's wearing and shrugs. You look like 3 loth cats in a trench coat trying to be a person.
Well, it's more of a he's waiting for me, and I don't want to give away everything. It is a little warm in here, though.
So, are you gonna hide your Leiku?
That's what the cowl is for. I just don't have it up yet.
Oh, sorry.
Again, it's very warm. I mean, Ryloth, warm planet. Don't get me wrong. This is a little extra.
Should I dress in a trench coat too?
Why? Are you hiding something?
No, but then he wouldn't be able to tell which of us is which.
Do you have a trench coat?
I don't know. Do you have an extra one? I don't have any, and I don't have anything on this ship anymore.
You didn't. I mean, it's if you didn't bring it with you, I don't think I have anything. You could check the boys' room. Kale might have left something in there.
It's gonna smell like coconut and vanilla if it's there. So no, thank you.
All right, then don't worry about it.
There is a sound from down the hall, drawers being opened and doors opening and things being kind of thrown around.
Oh, I folded everything. He's probably doesn't know where anything is now.
Found it!
Oh, never mind. He found it. I don't know what it is, but he probably made a mess.
Tazi comes around the corner into the hallway up to the cockpit, and there is a familiar sight. Tazi's dressed in an old flight suit, and the flight suit is a violetish pink color with a fringe around the shoulders and down the arms. It's been a little while, but it still fits. As Tazi goes to get back into the chair, certainly Corell and Quinth would notice that Tazi's name is spelled out in glittering stones on the back of the flight suit.
I had that one professionally cleaned. It's the only one you didn't take.
It smells pretty good. You took really good care of it. Thank you.
Well,
It feels right somehow.
I mean, it looks right.
And before Tazi sits down, he loops his gun belt around his waist and cinches it, clicks the belt together, ties it around his legs. All right. Well, I'm ready.
You look like a space bantha boy.
I was never really into that style of music. Bantha boys were never really my thing. But, I appreciate I think it's a compliment. I'll take it.
I mean, I really liked them. The 5 of them all did that, Bantha's back all right thing. It was very good dancing. And only 2 of them were Twi'leks.
It's rare for a Bantha boy band.
It's true.
Yeah, most of them were all Twi'leks.
Yeah.
Hey, I think we're coming up on the coordinates.
All right, everyone head to the ramp. We're going to hot drop off, so ship A1, if you could lower the ramp as we get close, we're just going to have to drop off the ramp onto the ground.
Done. The back door is open, Captain.
Quinth will kind of, stretch her arms out, kind of turn her torso back and forth. All right, let's do this.
Let's go get your daughter.
Tazi will be the last one out of the cockpit. He'll turn back to droid A1 specifically and kind of kneel down and just look at A1 directly in his photoreceptor. Remember, you promised.
I know. And he rolls over and lowers himself into the gunnery bay that Kay used to sit in. We'll be here, ready to go.
Take good care of her. If I don't come back, she's yours.
You say that and you hear from the gunnery pod. That's not an option. And then he closes the door to the gunnery bay.
Good luck, little buddy. And makes his way down the ramp, following everyone.
As you walk out and say that, you hear the ship say,
Good luck to you, Captain.
You too, little buddy. Big buddy. You too, A1.
Good luck.
And Tazi will hop off the ramp behind everyone.
D4 follows behind Tazi. You see the ship lift up. Absolutely. You guys come out, and short distance away from you is a little cave. The landscape has kind of some mountains, but they're not as big and jagged as you normally would think. These are a little more worn down over time. And you can see a little cave, and a light from the mouth of the cave is blinking at you.
Of course it's in a cave. It's always in a cave. Things can't be in the open.
I mean, it's not really anything we haven't dealt with before. I mean, we've fought a lot of things in caves.
I know, but I know this is a trap, but it just would feel better if we had a chance that it wasn't.
D4 looks at you. How do you figure it's a trap? They're asking for a simple exchange.
Quinth struggles to find the right words, realizing that she might be overheard, and then just says, "Follow our lead, D4."
D4, it's almost certainly a trap, but the fact that we know it's a trap means that we can spring a trap of our own.
Very well. I will follow your lead. And he holds out a hand pointing towards the little cave. You guys head towards the cave.
I'll go first.
As you guys walk towards it, the wind picks up every so often and blows dust in your face. Every so often you can see one of those sulfuric geysers spew out some of the acid as the pressure builds up.
Curl does have her hood up, so she's got a full cowl going on.
And Tazi pulls up a giant pair of goggles off from around his neck.
Does one of them still have a little crack?
It does.
You're good with the callbacks this episode.
Tazi had a lot of gear that he left on the Fang.
It's all clean.
It is the cleanest it has ever been.
As you get closer to the cave, the wind starts to kind of die down in the area. Just as you get to the mouth of the cave, you all notice it's actually a little cooler feeling. The cave is probably only 5 or 6 meters tall, and it goes back a little ways, and you can see the little blinking light right there at the entrance. And there's a little data pad that just sits right there. And as soon as you get close enough, a hollow pops up. And you just see the 12th brother standing there.
I'm glad you showed up. Please, come in.
And the image points down to the cave.
Why don't you come out?
I am not that foolish. I have what you want, not necessarily the other way around.
We brought what you wanted, too. A mutual exchange seems prudent.
Then proceed.
And the image shuts off. You guys enter the cave. It has a little gentle slope down. You can hear the gravel crunching underneath your feet.
Just out of curiosity for our own sakes, what's the marching order going into the cave?
It's a diamond formation with Quinth in the front, Tazi and Corell kind of side by side, and D4 on the back.
That's fine. There are little lights that are set up on the walls as you're going. You guys walk a short distance down, and it opens up into a little room where you can see there's a couple lights set up on the edge, and you can see Yara is sitting on a chair in the middle of the room with her hands tied behind her back.
We don't want to move into the center of the room. I think we want to try and check things out. So I would like to percept.
Okay. Make a hard perception check. So 3 purple.
A single success and then 2 advantages.
Okay. You can see Yara there, and you can see some movement in the shadows behind where the lights are.
But I can't tell how many or anything.
Looks like there's probably 7 figures moving around in the background.
I think Quinth will put her hand on her blaster but not pull it out yet, and just kind of shout into the room, "Why don't you join us, brother? 12th? I don't know, what do people call you? Sir, probably."
He steps out from the shadows directly behind her, so she's in between you and him.
Mm-hmm.
They generally don't address me. Fear has a way of shying people away. So, you have what I want. I have what you want. Simple trade.
All this time, I've feared you too. But it just occurred to me, you live a very sad life. You don't know what it's like to have people that you care about enough that you're willing to walk into a cave on a deserted planet and do something about. And actually, I might have made mistakes in my life, but at least the people who are behind me aren't there because of fear. And even if I don't walk out of here, I feel pretty good about that.
Well, I am glad that you are happy with your place. So, send the fox forward. I will send her forward, and we can both go about our way.
Corell's going to take a step forward and step kind of not quite in front of Quinth, but, off to her right. If you would have just asked nicely, I probably would have come and seen you without, kidnapping innocents like this.
That is entertaining. I have been honest with you. Why are you lying to me now?
I am not lying. I've been looking for you for a little bit of time now, since I became aware of you.
I have not been hiding.
No, you've been making a lot of noise. And you made a couple mistakes, though.
Haven't we all? After all, you are here now. That is a mistake on their part.
No, not really, because, as my friend here said, I'm here willingly. And she pulls the cowl back over her head, revealing what she looks like. Unlike most people who don't refer to you by your name, I do not fear you.
He steps forward and looks at all of you, and his eyes narrow. You will. And he holds his hand up and points it at you guys. 4 successes as you all feel a wave of literal terror flow through you. You guys are all disoriented for a round.
All right.
Corell looks at him. That's a very beginner-level trick for the Sith. Maybe your master should have taught you a little bit better. And she opens her duster, trying to draw his eye intentionally. She is wearing her full, Jedi battle robes.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of have caught the wrong person in your trap.
Depends upon your point of view.
Well, my point of view is that we're here now. We're going to take Yara, and if you get in our way, that is when you will make your final mistake.
He smiles, and you can see his pointed teeth. You can come with me peacefully, or you can all die. It is your choice. I will send her with Quinth, as I have promised, if you just come with me peacefully. My master has plans for you.
Corell looks down at Quinth, like searches her eyes for something that she's not quite sure what she'll find, and then nods and steps forward. It's like, you have a deal.
Quinth's outward expression doesn't change, but inwardly, she is confused.
And Corell walks up halfway to the distance to Yara.
Okay. Once you get to the edge of where the room opens up, that's where you stop, and he smiles. Very well. He points as two of the black armored purge troopers step out, one of them holding onto a pair of binders. Very well. Put your hands behind your back. They will take all of your weapons.
You must let her go first. She is bound.
He waves his hand and the binders unclick.
Corell kind of half turns and tosses her electro staff back towards Quinth.
Quinth was not expecting that, and it fumbles a little bit, but she does catch it.
And Corell puts her hands together, her wrists together, out in front of her. Like she hadn't heard the instruction completely.
He smiles. The games we shall play. Behind your back. I am no Jedi. I don't trust people.
And she'll put her hands behind her back.
All right. Yara, come here.
And the only other weapon on Corell is her blaster.
Mm-hmm. They take your blaster, throw it to the side, and they're working on putting the binders on you.
Yeah.
Yara gets up and she kind of looks, and 12th brother, you can go. And he motions with his fingers, dismissing her. She gets up very shyly and almost meekly and quickly scurries past Corell and the purge troopers, giving them plenty of room as she steps around.
You guys take her and go.
She scurries up to Quinth and throws her arms around you. Thank you.
Quinth gives her a one-armed hug. One hand is still on her blaster, but it's not yet drawn.
She's crying a little bit. You know he's going to kill her, right?
It's okay, honey. We've got this.
As the binders are placed on Corell's wrists, as the motion is happening, Tazi's going to quick draw both of his pistols. I will quick draw on the brother.
Okay.
And use quick strike, which will give me 4 blue dice because I have 4 ranks in quick strike. So I'll get 4 additional blue dice to the attack.
Nice.
So I have 2 ranks in quick draw, which means I can use it twice in a round.
Mm-hmm.
So I will draw both pistols at the same time and focus an attack on the brother.
Okay.
No fancy, no clever retort, no clever comments.
All right. So you're at medium range.
Yep.
Which is normally 2 purple.
Okay.
He is adversary rank 2, so it's going to upgrade both of those to red. He has a defense rating of 1, so I give you a black die.
Okay.
He's not dumb, so he was expecting something, so he's already ready to do his sidestep. So that will increase it by 2.
5 yellow, 1 green, 4 blue dice. One pistol has accurate 1. The second pistol has pierce 2.
Okay. While you do that, I have to roll something as well.
I had 13 successes total, minus 3 threats. So that gives me 10 total. And I have 5 advantages, 2 of which go to triggering the second weapon.
Okay.
And then 3 of them will trigger a crit.
Okay. All right. Roll the crit first, so I have that.
86.
Okay, so he is compromised, so he has +1 purple die until the end of the encounter.
Yes! Good job.
Now, do you want damage?
That'd be helpful.
Okay.
And you have to do them separate because soak applies to each one individually.
So the first weapon is 13 damage, and then with the successes, that'd be 23.
Okay.
And then the second weapon is the K23, and that's going to be 11 damage, and again, the successes give that +10, so 21. And that's got pierce 2.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Nice.
Got it.
There's a blur of motion from Tazi as his hands raise a pistol in each, and he cracks off 2 very quick shots at the 12th brother His arms stop moving, and there is only the motion of the fringe around his shoulders settling into place.
We see the shots, and you notice before they actually make contact with him, there's a shimmer of energy around him, and they still do damage him, but you can see that energy seemed to have absorbed some of your shot. So yeah, we still have that triumph. What would you like to do with that?
I think with the triumph, Tazi cracks off one secondary shot from the second pistol, and that shot beelines to the binders that are about to be placed on Corell's wrists, knocking them aside, and there is a shudder of blue smoke from the binders.
Awesome. So let's get initiative rolled. I already rolled mine, so I'm saving a little time.
Corell was concentrating on the force when everything happened, so I'm using the foresee power as part of my initiative roll. And that gives me 8 successes and 3 advantages.
I'm going to take 4 strain to use rapid reaction.
Okay.
To give myself additional successes on my initiative.
Okay.
I rolled 1 success, 1 triumph. I believe the triumph still only counts as a success, correct?
Nope. Triumphs go before successes.
Yep.
All right, wonderful. So that'll give me 1 triumph, 5 successes, and 2 advantage.
I got 1 triumph, 5 successes, and 1 advantage.
All right, top of the order is an incidental. We see the 12th brother pulls out his lightsaber and ignites both ends and stands there staring at you guys. He's knew you would not uphold your end. Top of the order is a PC1.
Kazi knows this is not going to go well because it's a lightsaber, but you know what? We're going to go for it anyway because this is the only other time I'll get to use Quick Strike against him.
Okay.
Full well that the lightsaber may just make all this null and void. Another triumph, 9 successes, 5 advantages.
Okay.
I will use the 2 advantages to activate the dual weapon. I'm going to use Soft Spot, which allows me to add my cunning to the damage for one of the shots.
Okay. Does that so you have to spend a destiny point?
Yeah, I'll spend the destiny point we have.
The one you have? Okay.
Okay, so that's 22 for the first shot. And then the second shot, the one with Pierce 2, that's the one I'm going to add the 4 to. That will be 20, and that'll add it up to 24 on the total. And I do get 1 crit.
Okay.
84.
Okay.
4, so then the additional 10 from the crit he already has makes that 94. And then my lethal blows makes that 104 for the first crit.
Okay. Okay, roll a d10.
9.
Okay, he gets a -1 to all presence checks. This is a random skill. So your shot fires and hits him on the side of the face, and you see part of his jaw has been exposed as you burn away the skin.
And with the triumph, I will indeed have that second shot disarm him.
Okay. Your shot hits his lightsaber, and it hits his hands, and his hands, you can see that it burns his hands, and he drops the lightsaber, and it deactivates and slides away from him a few meters. Okay. So next PC.
Go ahead, Quinth.
Cool. Quinth will push her daughter back towards the opening. There's a ship waiting with 2 droids named A1. Get on it.
Okay. She starts running.
Great. He is disarmed. I'm also going to shoot the brother. Is he at short range?
You use her at medium.
What would I need to do to get to short range?
Use your maneuver.
Use my maneuver.
Take a maneuver and move up. You're basically next to Corell now.
Yeah, because that's worth it because I will get extra damage if this hits. What am I rolling against?
So it's going to be 1 red, 4 black, and 1 purple.
All right. So I've got 5 yellow and 1 blue going up against 1 red, 1 purple, and 4 black.
Okay.
Two successes, 1 advantage, and 1 triumph.
Okay.
And if I am at short range, that's going to give me +2 to my damage. So that's going to be 16 damage. And I feel like I want to do another critical hit on this guy. He's been hit twice with critical hits.
Yep.
You'll add plus 20 to your crit roll.
Yeah, so I will roll for that because I also have lethal blows. I only rolled a 28, unfortunately. But that'll be 48 because he's gotten 2 other critical blows. And then 58 for my lethal blow.
Okay, so he's now suffered an agonizing wound.
Yes! Can I have severed off his other Leiku?
Sure.
Yes. So Quinth will direct her daughter out of the cave and run up next to Corel and take a second, take a breath, and then shoot at the 12th brother. And the shot, I think, goes straight through his other Leiku. Just severs it right off, but not in the same place so that it looks cool. And no, somewhere else so that it's asymmetric and is obvious that it wasn't an intentional Leiku haircut.
Okay, perfect. All right. You see that Leiku go off and he glares at you. You can tell he's not happy at all.
Quinth's gonna smile.
But you still saw that shimmer of energy surrounding him.
Yeah.
Because it's now the 12th brother's turn. He holds his hand out. Look at that, too dark side. You see his lightsaber springs back up into his hand. He turns and looks. Tazi ignites the lightsaber and kind of sidearm tosses the lightsaber, and you see it spinning, coming right at you.
Using my dodge maneuver.
Okay.
That'll upgrade. That should upgrade by 2 ranks.
Perfect. And what is your range defense?
0.
Perfect. Well, he's got to flip over a dark side point to use that.
Of course he is.
2 successes and no advantages, which is good for you because they all canceled out. So he throws the saber. You see it spinning. Tazi, it hits you for 12 damage. Of course, breach 1. And then he holds his hand out and the lightsaber comes back and he catches it in his hand.
So the blade spins at Tazi, and Tazi tries to anticipate the angle, and he sidesteps and turns. As he turns, one of the blades cleaves cleanly through his side, leaving like a smoking scar behind. And Tazi kind of like limps to the side, drops one of his pistols, and he's holding that side.
Okay.
That took more than half of my wounds.
All right. Next PC.
That would be me. So Corel kind of half turns and gives D4 the signal that they prearranged, and while he's getting ready to do that, she reaches out to her side, grabs both of the purge troopers, and I'm going to attempt to use the force to pick them up and throw them at the brother. Okay. So let me make my move check, and then I have to make a ranged combat check to see if I can do it. Oh, my maneuver, by the way, is to activate Force Sense, which gives me a little bit better defense. Okay, so I have just enough light side points to do that. What is the brother's defense?
Well, you're going to upgrade your short range. So it's 1. So you're going to have 1 red, 1 purple. Currently, he is dodging, so it's going to turn that other purple to a red. So you have 2 reds. You have the 2 black dice. That's his kind of improvised weapon, so add another black dice. It'd be 3 black dice. 2 reds and 3 black dice.
So I have 1 success, no advantages, no threats, a despair, and a triumph.
Wow.
Okay.
So Corel reaches out to her side, picks up both of the purge troopers, and just right hand lobs one at the brother, and then left hand lobs the other at him. And he's going to take 10 points on each of those attacks, and so are they.
Okay.
Because they're silhouette 1. Can I use my triumph to disable his protection for at least a round? Like it overloads it after all the damage it's taken?
Sure.
Okay. And I've given the signal to D4, and that's my turn. what do you want to do with the despair, Chris?
Yep, I'm going to let one of the purge troopers have an upgraded die.
That's fair. Who's next on the... Is it D4?
It's the purge troopers. One of them steps out of the shadows to your right.
You're talking to me, I'm assuming?
You and Quinth.
Okay.
He is targeting you, Quinth. What is your defense?
1.
Okay.
So I'm gonna dodge.
Alright. He's got a blaster carbine. He fires off several shots at close range. Did not kick in the critical, but he does fire off a barrage of shots, hitting you for 11 wounds. There's another one that steps out on the left side of you two. This time he's going after you, Corral. He's making the wise decision.
I'm going to use, as an out-of-turn incidental, I'm going to use dodge. So he will be upgrading 3 times, and I have 1 range defense.
Alright, and he actually pulls up a flamethrower.
Wow, what?
Oh.
So 2 successes is 10 damage, and you have burn 3.
That hurts a little.
Yep. Third one steps out from the back to the right side. He is going to fire at Tazi. What is your range defense?
So, correction, I forgot I was wearing the armored flight suit, which does give me a 1 range defense.
Okay. Any other defense? Any other abilities you can use?
Well, it just says when targeted by combat check, it's an incidental, so I can use dodge again
Mm-hmm. How many
as an
ranks?
incidental.
How many ranks of
Just
dodge
one.
do you have? Just 1?
1.
Okay. He's firing his blaster carbine at you. That's better. 2 successes, 2 advantages. Ow. Their crit's a 3. Ooh. 11 damage.
Okay.
And you're going to take a black die in your next attack. Other one steps out from the back. The one that wasn't throwing. Because the 2 that have thrown haven't gotten up yet. He is going to fire at D4. Why you pick D4? The poor guy hasn't done anything.
Chris, that takes me to 0 wounds.
Okay.
So the purge trooper tracks off a shot. Tazi takes the shot full in the chest and drops to a knee.
D4 gets hit for 11. The other 2 stand up as a maneuver. They have to pull their weapons as their last maneuver. One of them is firing at you, Quinth. Same roll as last time.
Cool, I'm gonna dodge. I only have 1.
Okay, perfect. Well, the red die, Andy, rolled 2 failures. The purple die, 2 failures. The black die, 1 threat. The 3 yellow dice, 2 blanked, the other one had 1 success. So he misses you. I've never seen the yellow dice blank like that. And the last one steps up.
I mean, they are troopers. I picture Matrix style, the blast coming at her, and she, throws herself backwards, and it goes into slow motion, and then she comes back up after it whizzes past.
And the last one stands up, looks around, and he fires at D4, hitting for another 11 minus his soak. Okay, so D4 is standing right next to Tazi. He pops open his top right hand, slaps you on the back, Tazi. You feel a little injection. You're going to heal 9 wounds.
Ooh.
Because of all of his Stimpack specialization. He simply says, "Please continue fighting." As he slaps you, he runs up to Corel, gets within a meter, and flips his lightsaber from out behind himself. It was hidden in his cloak. And we see in slow motion as Corel's lightsaber is flipping through the air. Corel catches it.
I mean, classic Star Wars move to have a droid deliver a lightsaber.
Yes.
I think so.
And then we are back to the top. Who'd like to go first?
Mind if Corel goes?
Oh, please.
Yeah, Tazi's still on his knees with recovering from a syringe, so yeah, go for it.
Okay. Corel ignites her lightsaber with a pre-action, because it's quick draw, basically. And I'm going to move up and engage the 12th brother. I know I'm going to take... What's the base damage on that burn?
8.
Ow.
Right,
That hurts a little.
You could stop, drop, and roll and get rid of it.
Yeah, it's my action, though. I'm a little busy right now.
As soon as you get engaged with him, make a discipline check. It is equal to his ranks in fearsome. He has 5 ranks in fearsome.
Oof. One moment, please. That's a lot of blank dice for him. 1 success.
Okay. As you become engaged with him, you have this overwhelming anger and fear that fills you, but you're able to overcome it.
You see Corella, as she advances, like, kind of grits her teeth a little bit, and then half closes her eyes before she takes the last step. And when she opens her eyes are clear and her face is calm. And she brings her lightsaber around to attack.
Okay.
What's his defense? He's got 2 adversary rating, correct?
Yep, 2 adversary rank, 2 in melee. Also has dodge of 2. So that in essence would be 3 red and 2 black.
Not as many dice as Tazi, but let's see what I can do. I got 1 success and 4 advantages. 5 advantages, because my lightsaber gives me 1.
Okay.
So, Corell comes in with her lightsaber. Her pattern is pretty defensive, but she cuts him 12 points of damage, breach 1.
Okay.
I'm going to use all of my advantages to sunder his weapon.
Okay.
I have 5 advantages. That means I do 5 damage to his weapon.
All right.
Corell comes in with her lightsaber, does a quick feint to his side that he goes to parry, and then cuts through the center of his lightsaber, sundering it in 2, and then hitting him with the blade as she pulls back.
All right. Perfect. Next PC.
So, Quinth is going to... I just want to shoot him because he has no force field, and I feel like these troopers aren't going to last if he does. I feel like these troopers are going to run away. Are we at 1 red, 1 purple, and 1 black again?
No, it's going to be different. You are still at short range with that. He says adversary rank 2, but you're engaged with him, which increases it 2. So you're going to be at 2 reds, purple, 2 black dice.
And I will be using point blank to upgrade my hit if successful.
Okay.
A threat.
Oh.
Perfect. The next person that goes gets a black die.
So Quinth is excited and shouts to Corell, good job, Corell, and then is just too freaking excited and doesn't aim. Because she could have aimed.
12th brother's turn. He needs to make average discipline check. 1 second. So the 12th brother nimbly sidestepped Quinth's shot. Out from his hands, you see this lightning leap out, and he hits all of you. Everybody takes 5 damage that ignores soak.
Oh.
Unfortunately, I only got 3 advantages. He gains conflict. Imagine that. He is going to ensnare you, Corell, so you can't take a maneuver. And unfortunately, that's all he can do because of all of his criticals. He can only do 1 thing a turn. Next PC.
Let's have D4 go.
Okay. D4 is standing next to Quinth. He sees 2 purge troopers. One has a flamethrower in his hand, and the other one has a blaster carbine pointed in your direction. So he is going to go after flamethrower boy, because he knows that one does way more damage. He pops open his vibro sword, and his blaster out of his hands is quick draw. Oh, and you guys now have an extra light side. So you have 2 light side and 2 dark side, because he had to spend 1. All right, D4. It's your time to shine. Not bad. 1 success with the vibro sword. 4 advantages. So he can kick in his second attack with the pistol. So he does 10 damage with the vibro sword, pierce 2, and another 7 with that. And that is just enough to take out the purge trooper with the flamethrower. D4 leaps over. He jumps right past the flamethrower, drives his vibro sword straight through the purge trooper's armor and into his chest, and then fires the blaster out of the palm of his left hand over and over until the purge trooper slides off his vibro sword and falls to the ground. And you see the flamethrower land, and you see the little flame still lit at the end.
Oh, I can just imagine, like, with each one of those shots, like, that black armor, just, like, fragments of it just, like, keep spraying into the air like shrapnel.
All right, so we're to the purge troopers. Flamethrower boy's gone, which is good. So there was one firing at Quinth. He's going to keep firing. What is your defense again?
1.
Okay. Your dodge is how many?
1.
Okay.
Although I didn't do a maneuver, so I can sidestep.
Okay. How much do you have in sidestep?
3. So I'm going to take a strain.
What do you want to do with the despair I have left over? Everything else washed.
The weapon misfires?
Okay.
Or
Look
somehow
back.
blows up in his face?
The ammo pack is out.
Yeah.
Battery pack, however you want to say it.
And he is out of combat?
Yeah. He just can't use that as a blaster currently. There's one still firing at you, Tazi. What was your defense? Is 2? No?
It's ranged as 1.
Okay. Any dodge, sidestep, any of that neat stuff?
I do have my sidestep and my dodge, since I have not gone yet this round.
Okay.
So I will use my sidestep, which will increase his ranks by 3, and I will use my dodge, which will add an additional increase, so 4.
Jesus. He now has more negative dice than positive dice. So that washes. Okay, so he has 1 failure. That guy's going to fire at you, Corel. One of the ones that you threw. What is your defense and all of your abilities?
I have a range defense of 2, and I'm also dodging, so he'll upgrade twice, and I will also I have force protection active, so he upgrades 3 times and gets 2 black dice.
Huh. So, after everything else washed, we have a triumph left and a despair left.
Oh, well, that's nice.
So we'll start with the despair.
With the despair, Curl brings her lightsaber up and starts parrying the shots, and the second shot that he tries to hit her with reflects back into him.
Nice.
Okay. Does that do damage to him?
It does same damage as the initial hit. So after his attack resolves, he takes the same amount of damage.
Okay. So that's enough. Take him. How does he triumphantly die then?
Well, he still his attack succeeds, so he could critically hit.
No, he didn't actually have any successes.
Oh. He would distract Corel and give the next one an upgrade.
Yep, that's what we'll go with, because there's 2 left. So is it going to be the same roll for the next guy?
Yeah, same roll for the next guy, unless they get the upgrade.
Yep, got it. Whew, no triumphs or despairs this time. That's kind of nice. So he has a total of 7 threats left over. What would you like to do with 7 threats?
So I'm again going to use Improve Reflect, and that means I can use that twice as an out-of-turn incidental, because I can use every 3 I can use it. So I think what I'm going to do is with Supreme Reflect, I'm going to knock 1 shot at one of the guys and then 1 shot back at him.
Perfect. That's enough to take him out. I believe Tazi is left to go.
Tazi will raise himself up from his knees back to a standing position, level his pistol, and aloud, "Zahn says hello, Sleemo." And then Tazi will take his last shot. The 12th brother looks up at Tazi's remark, and the blaster bolt enters the base of his neck and passes clear through.
Now we're back at the top of the order, because there's 3 more of those purge troopers still there.
Corel will go.
All right.
Are they a minion group or rivals?
They're rivals. One of them is currently pointing a gun at Quinth. One is currently pointing one at Tazi, and the other one was pointing at D4.
What's the Purge Trooper's defense?
Melee is 1.
1 success and 5 advantages.
Okay.
So the first one will take 12 damage for each one.
That one falls. That's the one that you reflected into last time.
Okay.
He'd be the closest one to you.
Then, with a Triumph, is there another one, like, right next door?
No,
Or on the other side?
They were spread out. They didn't clump up together. They knew better.
The next 2 people who go get blue dice. 2 blue dice.
Okay. All right. Who wants to go next? 2 of you go before they do, and there's 2 left.
Oh, I want to shoot. I want to shoot a trooper.
All right.
I'm going to true aim, and I'm going to take my 2 blue.
1 purple and 1 black.
So that is 5 successes, 1 advantage, and 1 triumph.
Perfect.
So, coolly and calmly, Quinth is probably pointing at the one who's hit her.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm just doing math. Is 17 maybe would take him out, plus a crit?
That's just what you need.
Nice. So somebody shot her, and she got force lightninged. She is an unhappy camper. And so I think it's a really quick pulling up her... Well, not pulling up, but just swinging her arm over towards the trooper who had been shooting her and just cracking off a shot without even looking at him.
Okay. Did you have any advantages or triumphs left over?
I have an advantage and a triumph, yes.
Okay. You want to pass those out to the next person?
Yes. So D4 has how much? Like 3 blue dice and an upgrade?
Perfect. So D4 leaps over with his vibro sword. 4 successes, 4 advantages, and 1 triumph. D4 is going to use one of his talents. D4 is going to use anatomy lessons. So he's going to spend the last destiny point and add his intellect of 6 to the damage.
Nice.
Oof. Leaps over and slides on a knee, stabs his vibro sword into the inner thigh, twists, fires his blaster into both knees, and the trooper falls over.
Okay.
And D4 turns around and just looks at Tazi. How are you feeling?
I've been better.
Very well.
Corell looks around and deactivates her lightsaber. Is everybody okay?
Quinth, steely-eyed, walks towards the 12th brother on the ground.
Tazi's last shot left a clear hole just underneath the base of his neck, like through his chest. So he's still rasping, I would assume.
As you're doing that, you see him close his eyes and he puts his hands on his chest. I have to make an against all odds action to make a hard resilience check. Quinth, you see some of his wounds heal, and then he looks at you and just slowly holds his arms up. I surrender.
Quinth is going to bring her blaster down and look him dead in the eyes and say, Zahn and Rith don't care. And then she pulls the trigger.
As Quinth fires her blaster, the camera cuts over to D4's face as we see the reflection of the blasters lighting up his eyes as he moves over to check on Tazi.
Tazi's head lifts slowly just to look over at Quinth.
And D4 looks over at Corell. I think it is time for us to go. And he helps Tazi up.
Careful. That side. Watch that side.
Tazi, isn't that where you got stabbed on Randon?
I think I'm gonna need another lung.
Yeah, let's get us all back to the ship and we'll go.
Quinth, come on.
D4 leans Tazi on Corell and walks over to Quinth and puts a hand on Quinth's shoulder. Now that you have closure with this one, we should go back to the ship and begin your healing.
Quinth will pick up the hilt of the dead lightsaber, and she's going to take that. Is a flamethrower hurt? Could we take that too?
I'm sure we could salvage their weapons, but I feel you should leave all memory of the 12th brother here. Leave it behind. Do not take any of it with you. Bury it in this cave.
So Quinth will throw the hilt of the lightsaber back And once everyone else is sort of out of the tunnel, she'll start shooting the cave, trying to make a collapse happen.
From behind Quinth, without saying a word, Corell lifts her hand and uses the force to collapse the cave. So Quinth thinks that she did it.
And as the dust settles, we see Tazi, Corell, D4, and Quinth all walking out of the cave. The ship's not there.
My comm got shot. Somebody else has to make the call.
I got it, Tazi. Corell opens up her comm. A1,
Yeah? I mean, we're just about to leave.
come pick us up. It's done. Tazi's pretty badly hurt. We need a pickup.
All right.
This is not a trick. It's actually us.
Okay. But, we're not gonna endanger my ship, are we?
Hello. I technically still own the ship. So bring it back, please. We need to go. Tazi's badly hurt.
No. Tazi gave me the ship. It's mine now.
He can't give me the ship. He gave me the... Will you get down here?
I'm the captain. Tee-hee, tee-hee.
And you see the ship come up over one of the mountains right next to you.
Tazi, do we need both of them?
Yeah, we do. we do need both of them. Ow.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tazi. I didn't mean to make you laugh. Let's go home.
Hello, this is May letting you know that Redemption is played by using the Star Wars role-playing system by Fantasy Flight Games and Lucas Books. Come hang out in our Discord to chat about the show, ask questions to the GM and cast, or really just see how amazing this community is. If Discord isn't your cup of frelp, please follow us on Patreon, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Thank you so much. We love and appreciate your support.